I have hearing loss that stems from a childhood injury.
So when you use the hearing aid, do you hear normally, like you did before you had the injury?
I wouldn't remember how I used to hear before I had
How old were you?
I was like 4 years old.
Oh, 4 years old.
When I put them on, sometimes, you know, while I'm adjusting them, the volume goes completely high, and then it starts to ringing. And then I adjust the volume, and it's okay. In different situations, in different areas, depending, you know, where I am, I have to adjust it, and I can't see what I'm doing. I'm just playing it by ear.
Right.
And like if I put on a hat with the hearing aids on, you see?
Right, you get feedback.
I can't have anything like around the hearing aid covering, you know, the sound coming out because it starts ringing. Another thing I have to do is I have to open this to turn off.
Oh, it doesn't have a
battery, you know, the battery wears out faster. So, and that is a problem because this is so delicate. It can break.
Right. So what do those cost?
Huh?
You can't hear me now.
No, I can't hear you.
So what did those cost?
When did it start?
No, what did those cost?
Oh, how much it cost?
Yeah.
Well, I have Medicaid, but my understanding is that they cost about $1,200.
Yeah.
And it's not a quality hearing aid. I mean, if I have to open it to turn it off.
Right.
Right.
What if something happens to them? Can you get a new pair, or can you get a better pair?
If it's a mechanical problem, then they fix it or replace it. But if they break because of my negligence, then no. And having to open it, and then it breaks, that would be my negligence. It's difficult for me when I go to my sister's house, because, you know, there's a lot of kids in the house. You know, my 2 daughters, her 2 sons, plus my grandnephews and nieces, and they're all conversing all over in one big room. And if we're sitting like this, I can't understand what she's saying. I hear her talking. I hear everything.
You can't differentiate.
But I can't. So I'm like, I can't answer. If she asks me a question, I'm like, I don't know. It's frustrating because, you know, sometimes people take that as a sign of, you know, that you're mentally slow, you know, and it's just that you can't understand because you can't hear.
Right.
You know, sometimes I like the fact that I have a hearing problem because sometimes there's just too much noise in the house and I'm trying to rest.
Yeah.
So that's when it's
a benefit.
It's ideal. Hearing loss is, you know, it's an inconspicuous illness. You know, you can't detect it. You can't see it unless you see the hearing aids.
Right, that's true.
So you wear them all day? So when you take them off, you don't hear anything?
When I take them off, I hear nothing. You know, I want to hear you talking.
Right. That's why we're developing this.
Right.
Because
what I hear is
you hear everything louder.
Everything else, the AC, the refrigerator, the radio.
Right. That's what we're trying to isolate. We're trying to make it so that when we're sitting in a room like this, that you can have a normal conversation without having all of these other sounds interfering, and you get better comprehension that way.
Right.
And you should be able to have a much more comfortable conversation.
And I get scared with all the noise.
You hear yourself better now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's directional. See? So when you talk now,
I hear you better now.
You hear me better now.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And now you hear you better now.
Yeah.
And now you hear me better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so point that to me. Point it this way. 1, 2, 3. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you hear the sounds in the hallway as much as you did before? 1, 2, 3. No, but you hear me okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And if I go back here, you'll hear me less, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's fading.
But here, it'll be very nice. 1, 2, 3.
Very nice.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So the idea is that if we're in this little area here, that's what you hear, and you don't hear anything from any place else. So you can focus on the conversation.
Right.
So that's the idea.
That's a great
And
idea.
this would hang from your neck,
It would
and
be
it would
much
be
prettier.
more decorative.
Right.
So this is something that we're trying to do that would be inexpensive, that would cancel all of the extraneous sound, and it would only allow us to hear what's in this area, like 3 or 4 feet from you. So if someone is sitting at the other end of a table, across the table, you would just hear them. You wouldn't hear any of the extraneous noises.
Sounds like a dream.